Good day, from One Nation Tribal Alliance. My name is Greg. I'm the administrator for One Nation Tribal Alliance. Today, I am here to announce again that I will be starting out my classes again, online classes. It's going to be live, and I will be starting out on, on September the 6th. That's a Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will be conducting three series of classes, and they are changing your consciousness, being aware of who you are, this matter, spirit, and conscious. So that is the first class. It has about 13 lessons in there. The second one is raising your vibrations. In the raising your vibrations, I use four different tools. That is, one, the native prayer consciousness. Two is the seven main chakras. And three is the medicine wheel, the Native American medicine wheel. And fourth is the seven consciousness. So with this in mind, that is going to teach us about raising our vibrations. And raising your vibrations is very important because not only do I teach about the earthly vibration into the esoteric, and we'll touch up on the seventh one going into the galactic vibrations. So that is the second class. The third class, the final class, is about consciousness. I will be sharing the knowledge about the seven conscious levels. Again, using the four tools of the native prayer consciousness and into the medicine wheel consciousness, seven chakra consciousness, and the seven conscious level. So, with this classes that I've been sharing the knowledge on, the reason why I'm using various tools is because I have, gone across the world, learned from various different cultures, and we all have the same way of raising our vibration, our conscious level, and be aware of who we are and our abilities. Because we forget, I would say, 99% of our abilities of who we really are when we are first born into this world. So, now that I told you about the three classes that I'll be teaching, you know, or sharing the knowledge with, these classes will basically um, be recommended that you all take all three of them because they all, I guess, a continuation from the first one to the second one to the third one. And that's why I put it, change your consciousness is mostly about who we really are, because that's one of the first questions that was asked of me. Who are you? And when you are asked that questions, you think, is it the earthly realm you who you are? Which is basically what's holding you back. Why is it holding you back? Because it's the reputation you're trying to build, nothing else. But in the spiritual realm, you have to know who you really are. Are you the awakened one? Are you an infinite being? Are you consciousness? What do we understand about all these three? What I understand is that the first one, like I always ask the question, if the spirit, we know that the spirit in this body, we listen to it or we don't, but we know that there's another person in this body other than the physical that will guide us if we listen to it. Well, change your consciousness makes us aware of not only the spirit in this body, but it teaches us how to connect using the spirit, connect to our relations throughout the world. And not by mean humans to human, but our relations, meaning the trees, the animals, the bugs, everything on this earth vibrates. And I will tell you about the vibration that it vibrates because when it vibrates, it sends out, it sends out And when it sends out, it receives. Just like you. When you sit down, meditate, and send out a frequency, guess what? The universe is going to respond. And that's what we are sharing the knowledge about, you know. And the biggest factor about these teachings is that I will share with you step by step into this sharing the knowledge of, well, I would call it the contemplative alignment. And by me saying that, what do I mean by contemplative alignment? Let me share with you. Contemplative alignment is the practice of bringing your thoughts, emotions, intention, values, and action into harmony through reflection, meditation, silence, or other contemplative practices. And in order to reach what I'm trying to share with you, I will share with you basically, you know, live about what I am talking about. And so when we talk about a lot of things, you know, we don't really get into detail about it. I got, a lot of people that come up to me and says, I can do this, I can do all that. I said, but are you doing it with control? We have to control everything because we don't want anything to interfere with what we are doing in our contemplative alignment. When we are trying to harmonize ourselves, we don't want, and contemplative alignment, basically, what I'm saying is that when you sit down to meditate and pray, what you are bringing out, your consciousness, in your consciousness. What about your subconsciousness? What is your subconsciousness saying? Is it in a line with what you are thinking or what you are bringing out? Because remember, when you meditate, you're sending out a frequency, and that frequency is going to have a response with the universe. And again, I do use a lot of analogies about things that I share the knowledge with. And I will get into little detail. Let me get a little detail about what I mean by sharing the contemplative practices. One of them is a real simple thing. Is I use this quite a bit. That is a lemon tasting thing. And what I do is I tell the people, okay, today we're going to taste the lemon. And I cut one up and I show it to you. Smell it? Yeah, you can smell the lemon. Yeah, some people would actually smell it, and I may be 1,000 miles away, but they can say, "Whoa, yeah, I can smell it." So I tell them, I say, "Okay, let's open up our mouth and our stick out our tongue, because I'm gonna put a drop of lemon in your mouth." And when they do that, and I say, "Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3," and I squeeze it, and all of a sudden they go. I said, "What's that?" He said, "My body's reacting to that lemon." Now, how did that happen? How did that happen? I'm 1,000 miles away. I'm not nearby. The lemon, the solid thing is right here. But that's how frequency works. So step by step, how does it work? And this is one thing that I'll break it down to you. And the other one thing is that in this first class about changing your consciousness, that's why I talk about your frequency, your vibration, your energy, because this body has a lot of energy flowing because you know what generates electricity? Water. This body is over 80% water. Where when the water is in motion, guess what? What's it creating? Electricity, energy, right? So we're going to break everything down because my classes, the one I share the knowledge with, is basically stepping back, learning step by step by step by step, baby steps, because we don't want to jump into it. Whatever gifts we understand that are coming to us, we don't want to just jump into it because when you dive into something and not understand it fully, it can hurt you. It's just like me giving you a full tank of car, keys to the car, and you don't know how to drive, and I said, "It's yours. Take it home right now. You'll keep it for free if you drive it home." And you don't know how to drive, but you sure are going to try, aren't you? Because it's free. Well, these gifts that we receive are free, and when we get it, we go ahead and jump into it, not realizing how really to use it step by step. If you're a healer, you have to understand that, yes, these healing gifts are granted to us because in the book of Matthew, Jesus said, freely I give you authority to heal the sick, raise the dead, and to remove all dark spirits. So we're given the keys right there. But now it's up to us to step back and learn how to operate. Learn when we become a healer. That's the way it should be. This is the way I was taught of my elders, step by step, because they knew I had the gifts, but they didn't want me to just jump into it because there's a lot of factors that you're dealing with. You're dealing with the dark. Anytime a body is ill, there's a dark entity that's, hurting that body, either a demiurge or an archon. And if you don't understand what I mean by demiurge and archon, demiurge are basically dark energy. The archons are the dark entities. So those things you are dealing with when you're a healer. And if, again, when you're doing the healing, the dark will either, you know, very strong to where if you don't know what you're doing, you know, it's transferring. And if it's transferring, guess what? It's either get on you or in you. And you might take it home with you. So cleansing and protection is very important. And not only that, your contemplative alignment is going to be misaligned when you are going out. And your gifts may be there, but you're not going to be in full swing of everything. You know, there is a lot of healing. As I learned, there's a lot. And once you take these classes, I'm gonna open up to have a retreat to where we get to do a lot of hands-on training. So with that in mind, these classes again are going to be starting Sunday, September 6th, and at 8 p.m. online. And to sign up for these classes, there is an energy exchange. And for each class, it's $100. Or you can donate 250 and take all three classes. What you get out of this class, you get a video of the class teachings, you get a copy of my footnotes that I share the knowledge with, that I write it down so I don't forget as I share the knowledge, and you get a lot of contemplative alignment practices, exercises, because by doing these exercises, you will enhance your gifts, your abilities. I'm not trying to change your modalities for those that are healers. All I'm trying to help you is to learn step by step to where one, you protect yourself. Two, you protect your patients. And three, you know, you are dealing with the entity that once it is moved, it's gone. And, you know, transformational healings is what I say. So with this in mind, get a hold of me, One Nation Tribal Alliance, Greg. My email is yawakia@yahoo.com. That's YAWAKIA at yahoo.com. And again, I'm taking classes. I know it's not for all. If you even have a question about these classes, please get a hold of me. We can work something out for you. Okay? I'd like to thank you for all your time, and I love you all.